Yeah, I mean, of course, I mean, this is the league, and it's you can only cover so much field. When they are starting in a short side of the field, that does give them easy opportunity not only to score a touchdown, but also kick a field goal. But I mean, I think us as a defense, regardless of what field position we're put in, Coach Schwartz always preaches, we got to be firemen at times. Offense is not going to be perfect. We're not going to be perfect. And, when we're not, they're going to pick us up. And when they're not, we got to pick them up. And we got to try to limit those touchdowns to at least 3 points.
Kristen and then John and Mullen. Hey, Jalen, watching the broadcast, we could see some moments where the DBs were having communications on the sidelines, maybe after a missed play. I'm curious how much you feel like those conversations had to happen because of no preseason. If you guys felt ready enough down that stretch with no preseason games to really get your first take there.
Yeah, no doubt. That was one of the things that I said, in my interviews earlier this week. No preseason. Also, really not having that much film on those guys because of the new offensive coordinator and us knowing that communication was going to be big. Once we came off the field, regardless of whatever happened, looking, talking to coach, looking at the iPads, seeing how they were attacking us in different type of schemes and things that they were doing as far as running past. So communication was definitely one of the biggest things that we had to have.
John and then Bob Brooks.
Hey, Jalen, obviously not the outcome you wanted. You kind of talked about those communications. Your first game back at safety in the NFL. How do you think that went overall, just getting people in right positions and things like that?
Yeah, it was okay. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm a competitor. I want to win each and every rep, and coming with that each and every game. I mean, so we just back to the drawing boards. We come in tomorrow, watch the film. We get a little flush. Get our bodies right, and learn from it, and on to week 2.
Bob and then Jeff McLean.
Hey, Jalen. Did you feel kind of that snowball effect, and then kind of look up? I mean, 27 straight points, that hasn't happened against a Schwartz defense with Doug Peterson. How tough was that to deal with that?
Yeah, kind of like I said, man. Regardless of where we start on the field, whether it's the 25 or we're starting with a short field, we got to try to limit those 7 points, man, as much as we can. If we can limit those to 3, or even try to cause a turnover any type of way, we got to figure it out. Regardless of whatever happens.
Jeff and then Rob Mountain.
It looked like Slay was following McLaren around.
Yep.
What was the plan for him, and then what was the plan for Logan Thomas at tight end?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that with Slade coming in, signing him with free agency, he was going to match the number ones. He's been doing that, his whole career when he was over at Detroit, and, that's why we brought him over here. And then as far as, Logan Thomas, whatever our play call may be, whether it was a linebacker on him, a safety on him, one of our nickel or our dime personnel, whoever was on him, just playing our type of football. But for sure, knowing Slade was going to match up with the number 1 receiver.
Hey, Jalen, when you're on a sideline and you look up and you see Carson taking a beating and all that's happening on the offensive side, what goes through your mind as a defensive player?
Yeah, for one, you hate to see your quarterback get hit. Offense, defense, special teams, because with that you got these 300-pound guys, hitting them and laying on them, anything can happen. So as far as that, of course you don't want to see them get hit. But outside of that, I think at the end of the day, it's going to just come down, this is week 1. No excuses at all. When we go in the building and we watch film, we got to be critical of ourselves, offense, defense, and special teams. Learn from the film and don't make those same mistakes twice.
Jalen.
And then Bo.
Hey, Jalen.
Yeah.
It looked like you were having your shoulder looked at one point during the game.
Yeah.
I assume you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you lost a couple other guys. Brandon went out. How difficult is that when you lose guys in game? You talk about the communication. I imagine not having that much time to do it was affected by the revolving door with the injuries.
Yeah, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? Everything's fine with me. But as far as that goes, that goes also into practice. As many guys as possible when you're in the rotation. Going as hard as possible. Being in your playbook, knowing what you're doing. So when communication does happen or it does break, it's nobody's panicking. Everybody's getting in their right spots and just playing fast.
We only have time for one more, guys, before we get Carson, so let's wrap it up here with Bo.
Hey, Jalen, you guys have had demoralizing losses before and bounced back. How does this compare to those, and how do you do that? How do you flip the switch?
Yeah, it's week one, division opponent. We always preach, first things first is one game at a time, and then second thing is win the division, So this being, like I said, week one versus a division opponent, it's definitely tough, but we can't. It's a long season. It's week one. We can't, keep try to dig ourselves in the hole and stay there. Like I said, we go in tomorrow, watch the film, be critical of ourselves and move on. We got a really, really good team coming in here week 2 with the Rams, and we got to know that they don't care if we win, loss, it doesn't matter. They're going to come in here and give us their best shot.